Yes, good morning everyone. Today we will see the chapter staffing. Till now we have seen the two functions, planning and organizing. Now let us see the staffing. First of all, let us see what is staffing. What's its meaning? Staffing means to place the right person at the right job. Okay, in easy words we can keep in mind, to place the right person at the right job at the right time is known as staffing. Now, what is the need and importance of staffing? First one, obtaining competent personnel. What will happen without staffing? Can we imagine all this thing? Still, organizing, we have seen that all the resources will be arranged, all the 3M will be arranged. But if suppose work staff is not there, workforce is not there to do the task, then who is going to do the task? That is the question. So these all problems is solved by the function of staffing. Okay, competent personnel will be discovering and obtaining competent personnel for various jobs. Then high performance. Proper staffing ensures high performance by putting right person on the right job. Continuous growth. If good staff will be there, then the particular organization will prosper, will grow. Then optimum utilization of human resources. All the resources will be properly utilized if skilled staff is there with the organization. Then improves the job satisfaction also. That's why it is said that any two organization can have all the things similar, but what makes the difference is the manpower. How is the staff? What quality of staff the particular organization is having? That creates the difference. Okay. This year, this HRM topic is deleted from the syllabus. So let us skip this HRM topic. Let us see the process of staffing. It's an important one. First point you can see is estimating manpower requirement. See, in the staffing process begins with the estimation of manpower requirement, which means finding out number and type of employees needed by the organization in near future. Manpower requirement is not only to find out number of people needed, but also the type of people. Type means what should be the qualification, educational background of people whom we need to appoint. While assessing the type of manpower required, company should also make policy regarding number of people to be appointed from backward classes, women force, minority, etc. Okay. In this particular first point, estimating manpower requirement, what 2 points are extremely important is, first one is workload analysis and workforce analysis. What is workload analysis? This requires finding number and type of employees required to perform various jobs designed in organizational structure. The next is workforce analysis. What is workforce analysis? It means analyzing existing workforce or employees already occupying the job positions and how many of them are overburdened or underburdened. Okay. After having a detailed study of this workforce and workload, then decision will be taken कि employees ज़्यादा है या कम है. Okay, if they are more, they need to be transferred, and if it is less, they need to be appointed. So this point is extremely important to remember: workload and workforce. Second point is recruitment. What is recruitment? It is actually a process to induce the people for applying the job in the organization. After assessing the number and type of employees required, the manager tries that more and more people should apply for the job so that organization can get more choice and select better candidates. Next is selection. What is selection? Selection in recruitment, see, number of applications will be received by the organization. Now in selection, the most appropriate candidate will be finally selected by performing the number of steps in the selection process. We will study in detail in this chapter the selection process. Next one is placement and orientation. You should remember in one line what is placement and what is orientation. What is placement? Placement refers to occupying a post by the candidate for which he is selected. And what is orientation? Orientation means it is actually training to introduce the new employee with the existing organization, with all the employees of the organization. इसे इंडक्शन ट्रेनिंग के नाम से भी जानते हैं. ओके. देन नेक्स्ट वन इज ट्रेनिंग एंड डेवलपमेंट. See, proper training is always required. To equip the employee with the training is must for the growth of the organization. So, training, it means to equip the employee in some particular projects and all, some particular methods. But development is related to the overall growth of the employee. So, the scope of, if I talk about the scope of development is extremely vast as compared to the training. Next one is performance appraisal. After taking training and performing the job for some time, there is a need that employee performance must be evaluated. Performance appraisal refers to evaluating the performance of employees against some standards. The standards are made known to the employees in advance. Superior prepare a feedback report on the basis of performance appraisal. Okay. Now, let us see the topic recruitment. Recruitment means what? Recruitment means it's a process to induce the employee to apply for the job. What are the various sources of recruitment? There are two sources of recruitment. One is internal sources and one is external sources. Now, let us study in detail about the internal sources of recruitment. Internal sources means when the candidate is selected from within the organization, it is known as internal source of recruitment. There are three ways you can see it is: transfer, promotion and layoff. Transfer, what is happening? One employee is shifted from one particular job from one department to the other. And in promotion, what is happening? It refers to shifting of the employee to higher positions, carrying higher responsibilities and facilities and pay and all. Layoff, to recall the temporary worker for work, is called layoff, who were temporarily separated from organization due to lack of work. That is layoff. Okay. What are the various advantages of internal source of recruitment? See, employees will be motivated because the employee know that if requirement is there in the organization, then that particular job position will be filled from within the organization. So it will improve their morale. It will motivate them. Then next one is internal recruitment also simplifies the process of selection and placement. Then no wastage of time on the employee training and development, because they are already familiar with everything what is going on within the organization. They are already trained. Then filling of jobs internally is cheaper because a lot of money has to be spent when external recruitment has to be done. But since here it is done internally, it will save their time, it will save their money. That's why it is said that it is economical as compared to the external source. What are the various limitations of internal sources? Now let us see the limitations. First one, the scope for induction of fresh talent is reduced. Then second, you can see the employee may become lethargic. Then the spirit of competition among the employees may be hampered, because when they know that they will be selected internally, then what is the need to work hard, because they know that selection will be done from themselves only. Okay, that's why. Then frequent transfer of employees may often reduce the productivity of the organization. Then let us see the external source of recruitment. What is external source? When the candidates are selected from outside the organization, it is said that external recruitment has been done. What are the various common methods of external source of recruitment? First one is direct recruitment. Here what will happen? Just a notice will be pasted on the factory gate and all, giving complete details, and seeing that board, the enterprise specify the details and all, and seeing that board, anybody can apply and they can be selected. This is generally happening for the unskilled job, I can say. Then casual callers. Generally what happens whenever any vacancy is there, number of applications are coming. Okay. So what the organization is doing, they are just making the complete record, they are making file and they are saving it, and if required they will be called in future. So this is casual callers. Then third is advertisement. Advertisement, there are various ways to give ad. It can be given through newspaper, internet, radio, televisions. Nowadays there are a lot of various social media has given a lot of options actually to give ad for the recruitment, to ad for the job. The next one is employment exchange. Employment exchange can be private, it can be government. If it will be private, then it will charge some amount, and if it is government, it is completely free. Just we have to register after completing our complete studies and all, our graduation, PG. We have to register with the employment exchange, and then they will find the suitable job and then they will call. Then it can be through campus recruitment. You all have seen 3 Idiot movie, in which you have seen what is the way of actually when campus recruitments are done. Okay. Then it can be labor contractor also. Labor contractors are in direct contact with the number of workers, and when required, if required, then if required, the contractor can directly contract the labor contractors for providing the various laborers. Then what are the various merits of external sources? First one is qualified personnel, because we can see that when external recruitment is there, endless applications are coming, so wider choice will be there and the best candidate can be selected. Fresh talent, new blood can be inserted, fresh talent will come in the organization. That's why we say that new blood in the organization. Competitive spirit, because all the workers know that selection will be done from outside, so they will have the spirit, know that we have to work hard. We have to work hard, we have to prove ourselves. It will increase the competitive spirit in them also. What can be the various limitations of external sources of recruitment? It can create dissatisfaction. Then it is a very costly and time consuming process. It's a lengthy process also. Now let us see the selection. It's important one, selection process. What is selection? Selection means choosing the best candidates. Okay. It can be from within the organization or from outside the organization, internally or externally, for the current position or for the future position. We have seen that recruitment is a positive process, whereas selection is a negative process. Why it is a negative process? Because here all the applications generally will be rejected, most of the applications will be rejected, and very few applications will be selected. That's why it is a negative process. First one, preliminary screening. Process of selection we can see. It means the applications will be screened properly. They will be checked whether the applications are as per the requirements, as per their qualification will be as per the requirement or not. And a list of candidates will be called for employment test made, and unsuitable candidates will be rejected. Many times it happens that they are asking, suppose for MBA degree holder, other people are also sending, that these type of applications will be rejected. Second is selection test. In selection test, various tests will be conducted to check the personality, aptitude, their ability to learn the new tricks and all. So various tests will be conducted here. What are the various tests we can see? What are the various tests we will see? It can be aptitude test, it can be personality test, it can be trade test, interest test, like that. Okay, it can come for 1 mark in the board exam, so you have to be prepared for this thing. Then employment interview. Next is employment interview. What is the main purpose here? To find out the suitability of the candidates, to seek more information about the candidates, to give candidate an accurate picture of job with details of terms and conditions. Then next is a reference check. Prior to final selection, the prospective employer make an investigation of the reference supplied by the applicant. He undertakes thorough search in candidate's family, past employment and all. That's why generally they are always asking two numbers so that they can check, they can verify regarding the character, regarding the working style of the employee. Then selection decision will be taken. Then medical examination will be there. Then job offer letter will be given in which complete details will be there regarding the job. Then contract of employment. After getting the job offer, the candidate has to give his acceptance. After acceptance, both employer and employee will sign a contract of employment which contains terms and conditions, pay scale, leave rules, all the small points. Every point is very important, so it's very important to read the contract of employment always. Then training. Now let us see the topic training. What is training? Training is the act of increasing the knowledge and technical skill of an employee for doing a particular job efficiently. There are various benefits of training to the firm as well as to the employee also. Avoids wastage of time, then it will be more productive. They will equip the future managers also. They are developing future managers, we can say. It improves the morale also. Absenteeism will decrease. Response will be given to the fast changing environment. Then what can be the benefit for the employee? Improved skill and knowledge, so better career opportunities will be there. Performance will be better. The chances of accident will be less. It will improve the morale and it will give satisfaction also. What are the various methods of training? There are two ways of training: on the job method and off the job method. What is on the job method? Apprenticeship training. Under this training, what will happen? The particular learner will work under the master, trainee and trainer. Two parties will be there, and while working, stipend will also be given. Stipend will be given. Okay. Then second is internship training. Under this method, an educational institute enters into an agreement with the industrial enterprise for providing practical knowledge to its student by sending them to business organization for gaining practical experience. Next is, it can be induction training. It means it is a type of training actually which is given so that the employee will become familiar with all the employees in the organization, all the assets of the organizations, their various places and all. That's why it is given. Now you can see the difference between training and development. First one is definition, which we have already seen. Purpose. Training, what is the purpose? To equip the employee so that improvement will be better. Development, for all round development it will be. Methods. Training, there can be on the job method, off the job method. It is imparted through generally training will be on the job method will be used, and development of the job method will be used. Initiative, the boss takes the initiative generally training, and for development the employee themselves has to take the initiative. Duration, generally it will be for shorter period of time. Development is a long lengthy process. It will continue forever, and that's why he said that throughout the whole life we are learning. Throughout the whole life learning processes going on. Okay, so here we have done this chapter number 6, staffing. Now we will meet soon with the next video for the next chapter. Okay, have a nice day.